Okay, my dear students, welcome back. So now I am going to discuss about cross pollination. In my last video, we discussed self pollination. So let us now immediately switch over to this cross pollination. Cross pollination, or this is also called as allogamy. Cross pollination, or this is also called as allogamy. So here what happens for what are the essentials of cross pollination? Essentials of cross pollination. Essentials of cross pollination: presence of bisexual or unisexual flowers. Presence of either bisexual or unisexual flowers. That is the first essential condition. And two different flowers are required. Two different flowers must be present. Flowers must be present. So these are the essentials of cross pollination. So pollen involving two different flowers, that we call it as a cross pollination. Now this cross pollination can be of two different types. There are two types of cross pollinations. The first one is called as xenogamy. Xenogamy is the cross pollination involving two different flowers present on same plant. So here two flowers present on same plant. So this is the genetical self-pollination. This is called as genetical self-pollination, because here there is no change in genotype. There is no change in genotype. So same plant is involved. So it is called genetical self-pollination, or it is not a true cross-pollination. It is not a true cross-pollination. So xenogamy can occur. It can occur in both unisexual and bisexual flowers. Both unisexual as well as bisexual condition. Unisexual and bisexual flowers, this xenogamy can be present. So suppose we take monoecious condition. Monoecious condition. We know monoecious condition is when unisexual flowers present on the same plant. We call it as monoecious condition. So monoecious conditions, like we have in some lower plants also we have monoecious conditions. And monoecious condition we find in caucus, that is in coconut we find monoecious condition, and say carica papaya, of course, that is a dioecious condition. So here monoecious condition, unisexual flowers present on the same plant. So cross pollination will occur between two flowers present on same plant. So monoecious condition, what is possible? Xenogamy can take place in monoecious condition. So next, so this you can take the examples of xenogamy. Whatever all under monoecious condition, you can take those examples for xenogamy. Now next one, the second one is called as xenogamy. Second one is called as a xenogamy. So in xenogamy, the pollination takes place between two different flowers present on different plants. Two different flowers present on different plants. Two different flowers but involving different plants. Then it is called as a xenogamy. Two different flowers present on different plants. Then we call it as a xenogamy. So xenogamy, since two different plants are involved, it is generally we can see in dioecious condition. Like for example, carica papaya, papaya plant, date palm, all these are dioecious conditions. Papaya and date palm. So here we find dioecious condition. Similarly, xenogamy can occur in both unisexual as well as bisexual flowers. Even if bisexual flowers, if they are located on different plants, then the pollination we can call it as a xenogamy. Xenogamy is the true cross pollination. This is called as the true cross pollination. It is called as a true cross pollination. Whereas this is genetical self-pollination, zytonogamy. It is not the true cross-pollination. So these are the two types of pollinations. Now next we can go ahead with different contrivances. What are all different contrivances and advantages of cross-pollinations? So first let us see the advantages of cross-pollination. First let us discuss the contrivances, then I will go to the advantages of cross-pollination. Okay, let us now continue with what are the adaptations or contrivances of cross-pollination. Contrivances of cross-pollination. So normally majority of the flowers are bisexual. Majority of the flowers are hermaphrodite or they are bisexual flowers. So there is always a chance of self-pollination taking place, but plants get adapted themselves to perform only cross-pollination and to avoid self-pollination, because continuous self-pollination leads to inbreeding depression. Continuous self-pollination leads to inbreeding depression. Inbreeding depression is loss of any useful characters or superior characters. That is called as inbreeding depression. So continuous self-pollination can lead to inbreeding depression. So therefore plants will perform only cross-pollination. So for that they adapt themselves to show cross-pollination. So let us see what are all contrivances and different adaptations seen in plants. So first one is dichogamy. Dichogamy, it is found in bisexual flower. Dichogamy is found in bisexual flowers. Here in dichogamous condition, the maturity timings are different. In bisexual condition, the maturity timings are different. Androecium may mature earlier than gynoecium, or the other way, gynoecium can mature earlier. Accordingly, again dichogamy is of two types. The first type of dichogamy, it is called as a protandry. Protandry, it is the most common type. Protandry is the most common type. What happens in protandry here? Androecium matures earlier than gynoecium. In protandry, androecium matures earlier. Earlier than gynoecium. So, like for example, we find protandrous condition. Example is sunflower. We find protandrous condition in sunflower. Now, this is the most common type. Now, let us see the second one, protogamy. Protogamy is when gynoecium matures earlier than androecium. Like for example, this is found in solanum. In different species of solanum, we find protogamy. So this is what is called dichogamy. Now next one, the second type after dichogamy, second contrivance is called as hercogamy. This is also found in bisexual condition, bisexual flowers. Hercogamy is also found in bisexual flowers. And here sometimes they may remain mature at the same time. But still, how the self-pollination is prevented here is because the androecium and gynoecium, these are placed at different heights. Androecium and gynoecium, they may be placed at different heights. So like for example, if we take hibiscus, their heights may be different or positions may be different. In that way, there is a physical barrier created. So with that physical barrier, the pollen of the same flower will not be able to reach the stigma. So in hibiscus we find a staminal tube is formed. In hibiscus we find a staminal tube is formed, and through this staminal tube the style passes, finally emerges out, and stigmas are present. So stigmas will be placed at higher level compared to the stamens. So here that physical barrier will prevent self-pollination, morphological or physical barrier. Similarly, another example in case of gloriosa. In case of gloriosa, stamens and stigma are placed in different directions. Suppose stamens are in one direction. Stamens are in one direction, exactly opposite the stigma will be present. So they are completely perpendicular to each other. So such condition, the self-pollination can be prevented. So these flowers, hercogamous flowers, are morphologically and physiologically they may be bisexual, but due to physical barrier or morphological barrier, the self-pollination is prevented. Whereas in case of dichogamy, we can say in case of dichogamy, the flowers are morphologically bisexual. Flowers are morphologically bisexual, but functionally unisexual. They can be functionally unisexual. This is what we can say for dichogamy. So dichogamy and hercogamy, what is the common feature? Both are found in bisexual flowers. But dichogamous flowers, the maturity timings are different. And here they may mature at the same time also, but their positions will be different. So sometimes what happens in dichogamous flowers also, that the maturity timing may overlap between androecium and gynoecium. Like for example, just I will like to extend here little the dichogamy. Like little bit I am going to extend here. I have already given this protandry. So here I am going to give little bit extension of dichogamy is sometimes, suppose this is the time scale, we can say that is the time scale from say 1 to 14 hours. Let us take 1 to 14 hours. And suppose protandry is seen between 1 to say 9 hours. Let us say this is protandry. And suppose protogamy is seen from 8 to protogamy seen from say 8 hours to 14 hours. 8 hours to 14. So this is 8 hours to 14. This is suppose protogamy. So what is the overlapping period is between 8 to 9. That means 1 hour overlapping period. That is called as incomplete dichogamy. So according to this diagram, incomplete dichogamy can be present. Incomplete dichogamy will be seen for 1 hour. This is what we can say slight variation in case of dichogamy. So dichogamy and hercogamy, both are in bisexual form. Now let us see the next one. Let us see the third. Okay, now let us come back to the third one. It is called heterostyly. Heterostyly is also found in bisexual flowers. This is also found in bisexual flowers, but heterostyly is the length of styles are different here. It can involve either 2 flowers or 3 flowers also. But in some flowers, the style may be of very long and stamens may be very short. Style may be very long, stigma, and stamens may be very short. Such flowers are called as pin-eyed. Such flowers are called as pin-eyed. In others we can find the Stigma may be of very short length and style may be of, stamens may be of longer, they may be longer. Such flowers are called as thrum-eyed. Such flowers are called as thrum-eyed. So, between two such flowers, if there are corresponding heights, then pollination can take place. Like this is of two types. First one is called as dimorphic flowers. Dimorphic flowers. In dimorphic flowers, two flowers are involved with corresponding heights. Like for example, in case of primula. In case of primula. The second type is called as trimorphic flowers. Trimorphic flowers. Trimorphic means where three flowers are involved. So such three flowers, they will have the corresponding heights of stamens and stigma. So here trimorphic flowers, the example of trimorphic flowers are oxalis, oxalis and lythrum. Oxalis and lythrum. These are the examples of trimorphic flowers. So this is called as a heterostyle. Heterostyle. Now next let us go to the fourth type. Fourth type, pollen prepotency. Fourth type is called as pollen prepotency. Pollen prepotency is the foreign pollen is given more preference for germination than the self pollen. If simultaneously stigma receives both the pollen, that is self as well as cross pollen, then preference will be given only to cross pollen, not to the self pollen. That is called as a pollen prepotency. So what is it? When stigma receives both self and cross pollen. When stigma receives both self and cross pollen, preference is given to cross pollen only. Cross pollen or foreign pollen. Stigma preference is given to foreign pollen. Then foreign pollen will germinate first compared to the self pollen. Like for example, this is found in case of Fabaceae members like P and B. It is found in Fabaceae members. That is called as a pollen prepotency, where preference is given to only cross pollen. Suppose a flower receives only self pollen, then self pollen can germinate. So therefore in these plants we can find both self as well as cross pollination. Now the next one, fifth type of contrivance, it is called as a self-sterility. Self-sterility, or it is called as self-incompatibility. Self-sterility, or it is called self-incompatibility. So here if self-pollen falls, its stigma completely withers away, it falls off. So it will not promote germination of self-pollen. So what is self-sterility? Self-pollen cannot germinate. Self-pollen cannot germinate. Self-pollination can occur. Self-pollen can fall on the stigma, but it will not be able to germinate. This is called as a self-incompatibility or self-sterility. Like for example, this is seen. I'll give you the examples of this self-sterility. Examples are found in Passiflora and Abutilon orchids. Passiflora, Abutilon orchids. Here we find self-sterility. So here self-pollination can occur, but it will not promote self-fertilization. That point should be very clear, and this is a genetic phenomenon. Occurrence of self-incompatibility, it is a genetic mechanism. Okay, now let us see the last type of contrivance called as dicliny or unisexuality. Dicliny, or it is called as a unisexuality. So, presence of unisexual flowers. What is the meaning of this? Is presence of unisexual flowers. So, presence of unisexual flowers. This will promote only cross pollination. Presence of unisexual flowers will promote only cross pollination. So here 10% cross pollination we can say. Only cross pollination means it will be 100% cross pollination can take place. So now let us see what are all the examples. Here we can take the examples of first monoecious condition. Monoecious condition where unisexual flowers present on same plant. So here only cross pollination can occur. And which type of cross pollination? If they are present on same plant, it is called zetnogamy. Zetnogamy. Like you have the examples of monoecious condition. Examples maize. Example maize and castor. I gave you another example of coccus. Also you can add that. So maize and castor. Then another example you can take of dioecious condition. Dioecious condition also it is this type of contrivance is seen. So examples of dioecious condition you have many, like you have Carica papaya. Carica papaya, you have one example, and date palm I gave you another example, and one more example you can take Vallisneria also is a dioecious plant. Vallisneria also is a dioecious plant. So this condition it prevents autogamy but not zetnogamy. So monoecious condition and dioecious. Let us see how we can further understand these two. Further, how we can understand this monoecious and dioecious condition. So what is monoecious condition? Monoecious condition, it prevents autogamy. It prevents autogamy but not zetnogamy. This will be a direct objective type of questions. You can get a statement question in this form. So prevents autogamy but not zetnogamy. Whereas dioecious condition, if we take dioecious condition, what does it prevent? It prevents both autogamy as well as zetnogamy. It prevents both autogamy as well as zetnogamy. Both can be prevented. So that's how we can understand dicliny and how it is we can apply it to monoecious as well as dioecious conditions. So these are the children, these are the different types or different adaptations for cross pollination. Now I am going to discuss some advantages of cross pollination. Okay, now let us come back to the what are advantages and disadvantages of cross pollination. First let us come to the advantages. Genetic recombination and variations they can appear, they can be created. What is second one? It increases adaptability to surroundings. Any extreme conditions or to surroundings, it increases the adaptability. The third one is show more hybrid vigor. Hybrid vigor is due to heterozygosity, and due to cross pollination, heterozygosity can increase. That increases hybrid vigor. What is hybrid vigor? The superior characters present in progeny respect to the parents. With respect to parents, progeny always will have superior characters. So that superiority is called as hybrid vigor. And then defective characters are eliminated. So due to any new characters can enter, defective characters can be eliminated. Now if we go to the disadvantages, it is a wasteful and large amount of pollen has to be produced. because say cross-pollination involving two different flowers, they may be present on two different plants, so it will be a wasteful process. Second one, some undesirable characters can also enter. Undesirable characters can also enter, and then useful characters may disappear. And lastly, since external agents are required, it is only a chance process. There will be a chance of 50% or even less. So it is only a chance process because external agents are required. So with this, students, I complete about different types of pollinations, including self and cross pollination. So in my next video, I am going to discuss about agents of pollination. I hope you liked it, and if you like, please do observe the video from beginning to the end, and then please share to all your useful contacts. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.